In the last video, we learned what a peer assessment activity is and provided some examples on how it could be used in your class. In this video, we will cover how to create and set up a peer assessment for your students. To get started, enter your course through the Editor tool. Click Add Activity and select Peer Assessment. Give the activity a title and add any information your students might need to complete the assignment. Next, head on over to the Settings tab. Like any item, you can set the due date, control visibility, and adjust other configurations as desired. There is also an additional Peer Assessment Settings panel. Here you have the choice to allow students to self-assess. If you choose this option, you also have the choice to include the student's self-assessment into their score calculations. You can also set the peer assessment to require student comments. The student comments can be visible to the peer or hidden and only available for the teacher to see. Next, you can either decide to let students self-group or assign them to course groups that have already been created. Once your settings are adjusted, you will need to add your rubric. In the menu, you have the option to select an empty rubric, which will allow you to create your own, or you can choose a pre-existing NTN rubric. Once your rubric is selected, click Add. The rubric that you've chosen will open. Here you can adjust the rows, columns, points, and content if necessary. Once the rubric is adjusted to your liking, click Save. If needed, the rubric can now be edited or deleted from the Peer Assessment Settings panel. Now that we have our peer assessment settings adjusted and our rubric created, we'll hop over to the Gradebook Settings. It is important to note that the point scale on your rubric does not need to match points possible in the Gradebook Settings. For example, you might use a 4-point scale in the rubric but set the assignment value to be worth 100 points. It is important to understand how the peer assessment will convert the rubric score to the assignment score. If the student was scored a 2 on a 4-point rubric, that would be 50%. If the assignment was worth 100 points, the student would earn 50 points. So it is important that you establish the rubric points to match your grading scale percentages. Once you have your gradebook settings adjusted, you can click Save in the upper right-hand corner. Now your peer assessment is ready for students to interact with. Take some time now to practice creating a peer assessment. Think about an upcoming opportunity to model how the peer assessment activity functions for students and when you might give them a chance to practice using it.